Come to Helmuth Ford, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
Hi, this is Stacy from Shuttler Insurance Services. Come see me on the east side of the square in Sigourney for all your insurance needs.
The Sigourney Golf and Country Club Ladies Open Master Championship is this Friday, July 25th. There will be golfing and prizes throughout the day and lots of fun with happy hour on the patio with live music by Sierra Griggs. You hear Sierra's music on Skunk River Radio, and now you can see her live this Friday, July 25th at the Sigourney Golf and Country Club from 4 to 8 p.m. You don't have to golf to enjoy the music. Everyone's invited. Stop out for food, drinks, and a whole lot of fun at the happy hour on the patio this Friday after the Ladies Open Master Championship at the Sigourney Golf and Country Club. Wrestling returns to the Delta Dome in Delta, Iowa with Central Empire Wrestling on Saturday, August 2nd at 7 p.m. Austin Bayless makes his long-awaited return to the ring. Plus Jared Thumb, Rory Fox, Kelsey Magnolia, and Sage Hale, along with the whole cast and crew of CEW, will be on hand August 2nd at the Delta Gymnasium. Advance tickets are just $20 and $25 at the door. Get your tickets at CentralEmpireWrestling.com. Professional wrestling makes its long-awaited return to the historic Delta Dome in Delta, Iowa, Saturday, August 2nd. Skunk River Radio, country music from 1990 through 2010 with some Iowa country music sprinkled in. Listen at skunkriverradio.com, download the app, listen on Alexa by saying, "Alexa, play Skunk River Radio on TuneIn." Skunk River Radio will also be available on Google Assistant in the near future. You can listen to me, Steve Shuttler, each weekday morning from 6 a.m. to noon, and listen to The Haze from noon to 6 p.m. Skunk River Radio, online radio for country music from 1990 to 2010. Yes, indeed. It is time for some real talk here on Steve Shuttler Media with Aaron and Steve. He is Pastor Aaron Fleming. I am yours truly. We thank New Life Community Church in Wellman, Iowa for being a sponsor where Aaron is the pastor. He's the pastor. What's up, Aaron?
Well, Steve, it's been almost 18 years that I've been the pastor at New Life, and there have been some ups and some downs, but a lot of good times, a lot of good friends, a lot of opportunities to see God move in people's lives, and wow. I wouldn't say that every day is exciting, but it's my calling, and so I do it.
Yeah.
And different people have different callings. We've got a couple of farmers in the church, and I love listening to farmers talk about, like, I don't know anything about farming, but I love listening to farmers talk because they invariably have a sense of calling and a sense of like purpose and rootedness and connection to the earth and stuff like that. So whoever you are, wherever you are listening to Real Talk with Aaron and Steve, do good work.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for this week.
Thanks. Quick show.
Just kidding. Just kidding. We have some more thoughts along the lines of having our mind under construction. And here's a question, Steve. Why is it so easy to remember the stupid and painful stuff from our lives?
I know. Yeah, I totally get that.
Last week we were talking about times when we listened to sad songs over and over and over again.
Yep.
And I was talking about puppy love from middle school and how agonizing that is when you're 11 or 12 years old and the first girl that you really care about sends a friend to tell you not to ask her to go with you.
No, thanks.
Yeah,
good.
And like I could just remember that and feel the shame and the humiliation. And I've been married for almost 30 years, quite happily, and my wife seems to genuinely appreciate me and stuff. But it's just so easy to go back to those painful memories of rejection or failure, or it could be moral failure or the job you didn't get. But this is this reality that we are prone to remembering our mistakes and our misery. This reality is not lost to God. I think a lot of times we get into this mindset that God doesn't understand. God doesn't know. If only God knew what I was going through, he wouldn't have these expectations of me that I rise to his standard of behavior. So over the years, this little verse from the book of Lamentations has become more and more important to me, and it makes more and more sense. Lamentations chapter the 3rd, verse 21. It says, I remember my affliction and my wandering, the bitterness and the gall. And I don't even know what gall is, but I think about the gall bladder. Like that's somewhere in your body. If it's a bladder, whatever it holds, I don't think it's good. So I remember the bitterness and the gall. I well remember them. Oh, I well remember.
So it's not you're just remembering kind of in the back of your mind, but it's like
it's vivid.
It's
vivid. Times when I was rejected, or there was this time I applied for a job at a Bible camp, and I thought now it's possible, Steve, that I was a little full of myself. I was like 20 years old or something. I thought I was a shoo-in for this job. Like, I'm so qualified. I have 5 years of experience, and like I'm so passionate about God, and I love the Bible and all this stuff. I was so sure I was going to get this job, and then I didn't. And of course, there was no explanation or anything. And sometimes I think about that, and I just feel small.
Yeah.
Which also 28 years later seems really dumb. Like, why does that stick in my brain? But there it is, and God knows it. And he's got this prophet in the Bible that says, I well remember them, and my soul is downcast within me.
Yeah.
Yep. We think about those things, and it's before long, our soul is downcast within me. But the answer to this, because this is not permission to wallow. Just because God understands that something is painful for us or that something is difficult for us, like God has high moral standards and he calls them to us, and then we fail, and God says things like, hey, I remember that you're made out of dirt. I know that you're weak. But a statement like that is a statement of God's compassion for us and his understanding for us. It's not a statement of permission to wallow. So, getting a little more hard hitting on Real Talk this week.
Yeah.
It's not permission to wallow. The solution to this problem where my brain just likes to take out and fondle the negative memories. The very next verse has the solution. Yet this I call to mind. See, I easily remember the negative stuff, but I have to work at bringing to mind things that make me feel better again. So this I call to mind, and therefore I have hope. Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, because his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is his faithfulness. So we talk about being renewed by the transforming of our mind, and we discussed that the last couple of weeks. Really, we've been kind of into this thing. How do I transform my mind? What is it going to take work for me to call to mind some things that are going to transform the way that I think? Because my negative memories are just going to play on loop. Like I played yesterday on loop. Yesterday,
when you were rejected by the girl,
all my troubles seem so far away.
Well, it also kind of reminds me, like, if you get on Spotify or YouTube or something, and you kind of, it figures out what you want to hear. And it will play, it'll like go into a flow of music that if you stay there, it's just going to continue to, maybe go deeper and more sad. If you're listening to a sad song, and you're like, oh, give me more of that, then keep playing that stuff. But if you choose to listen to a happy song, maybe the flow of the music will start to be happy and happier, and you got to make your choice as to what you want to listen to.
Yeah, Spotify, and it also seems to me like the algorithms, do not recognize, like YouTube. You watch a YouTube video, like somehow, some way you get onto something like bodybuilding. I've mentioned this before. I kind of follow this one bodybuilder, but now my YouTube stream is full
Yes.
of all of these different bodybuilders, and I'm like, no, I am not that into this. I just want to hear from Dr. Mike. That is it. But yeah, I think that's a great observation, that our memory is kind of like. Well, I think probably the algorithms, because they're created by humans, and they're created by humans who understand human psychology. Mm-hmm. Like I think I have this correct. I think Mark Zuckerberg actually majored in psychology in college. He didn't major in computer science or something like that.
Yeah.
So Facebook is created to take us down those rabbit trails. And it gets it wrong sometimes, but it meshes with the human brain, and it works, which is why Mark Zuckerberg is worth however many billions of dollars. And who invented YouTube? I don't know, but they're probably a billionaire too.
Oh yeah.
That's a Google thing. I don't know who invented Google. Doesn't matter.
Mr. Google.
Mr. Google. Oh, I know some Googles back up around the Kelowna area. Different spelling, but they probably changed the name of their tech empire to protect their identity.
Sure.
Okay, so squirrel.
Yeah. Reel it back in.
Reel it back in. So what am I going to call to mind? What am I going to call to mind? Well, we've talked about praise. We've talked about joyful songs. We've talked about gratitude. But the book of Philippians gives us a cool hint. It says this: finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Wow, that gives us enormous latitude as followers of Jesus, to think about all kinds of different things. So your grandmother's cooking, or that fantastic play you saw in a sporting event last week. And I think, Steve, that in one way I have enjoyed sports more the more I have been able to let go of needing the Hawkeyes to win.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not the end all be all.
Right. If I'm watching a Hawkeye game and somebody from some other team makes an incredible play, if I can just sit there and say, wow, that was awesome.
Good for them.
Good for them. Like, we played really good defense on that play, but that guy just, man, how do you stop that?
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm thinking about something that's noble, something that's admirable, something that's excellent, something that's praiseworthy, and just my mindset is changing. And I'm screaming at the TV a little less. I'm gently tossing the remote a little less. Those kinds of things. So I'm just saying here, like, there's the whole world opens up to obedience to God, to think about whatever is true, noble, right, pure, lovely, admirable, excellent, or praiseworthy. Think about such things. So I'm excited about that. And so I have another exercise that I think each exercise that I've been sharing over the last couple of weeks is a little bit more challenging than the last. Each one requires a little bit more of our attention span and requires a little bit more depth of thought. and requires a little bit more depth of emotion. So here's exercise number 3. After gratitude, after praise. So try this out sometime, dear listeners. Find a quiet place by yourself. Close your eyes and pray this simple prayer. Jesus, will you please lead me to a happy memory? And then, as soon as a happy memory comes to mind, see if you can think about that happy memory exclusively for 3 minutes. Do you know how hard it is to think about one thing nonstop for 3 minutes?
I was thinking that would be hard. Yeah.
It is difficult. I'm not sure if I've ever made it the whole 3 minutes without going off on some bunny trail. So this is a challenge. It is a mental exercise. But again, hey, if we were asking the question, how do I get in better physical shape so I can be physically more healthy? We might start off with something really easy, like, hey, go walk for 15 minutes. And don't worry about how fast you're going. Just get some steps in. Well, after doing that for a couple of weeks, we might add something a little more difficult, like walk for 30 minutes, or add some push-ups, maybe add some lunges. Lunges are killers for me. I don't know why, but when I don't do lunges for a while, just like 5 will make my glutes so sore the next day that I can hardly walk. So we might start off with saying, okay, don't even start off with 5 lunges. Start off with 2 lunges. But we would be increasing the intensity of our physical workout. The same thing is true of our mental workouts and our spiritual workouts. They have to become more difficult. The intensity has to go up, or we will stay stuck at a certain phase of development. So again, my encouragement: ask Jesus for a happy memory, and then whatever it is, focus on that for 3 minutes if you can, and spend 3 minutes at it and think about whatever comes to mind, but try to pull it back to that happy memory. There's some science behind this that you don't even have to know, but I don't think anybody's going to sit here and argue with me that it's not healthy to think about happy memories.
Yeah.
So I've done this exercise with some different friends. Like there's a group of guys that I work with who are a lot of them coming out of alcohol or methamphetamine addictions, and especially when a guy has lived for years and years and years in that kind of lifestyle, there are not a lot of happy memories, and so there's some science there, but it's also just like you got to reshape the way that you think, and so to capture some happy memories is just super important and super healthy. So that step, the step of focusing on the memory, try it once, see how you like it. Then if you want to ratchet it up, the big game changer is if you can do that 3 times a day for a month before kind of settling back into 1 time a day, maybe for the rest of your life or whatever. But if you can do the happy memory exercise morning, midday, and night, there's scientifically supposed to be some really big benefits to mental health for that, and I can only imagine to spiritual health as well. Doing this exercise, I don't do it every morning, but I've been doing it at bedtime. I'm kind of at an age where sometimes it's hard to fall asleep, but man, when I ask Jesus for a happy memory and then I try to focus on it for 3 minutes, I'm just out like a light at bedtime. So sleep is precious at our age.
Yeah.
Gone are the days when I could watch movies till 2:00 in the morning,
Yeah.
and then get up at 6:30 and be at work by 7 and function throughout the day. So anyway, there's an exercise for you to try, dear listeners, and He-Man says you don't get this kind of physique without some exercise. And Aaron says, you don't get a healthy mind and a healthy soul without some exercise. And
Skeletor.
Skeletor says, I'll get you next time, He-Man. I would just like to pause and point out how buff Skeletor is as well. Like, that dude spends a lot of time in the gym. It's just too bad he's putting his muscles to work for evil purposes. But anyway, we're going to finish on that absurd note. Thanks for being with us for Real Talk. And we'll see you around soon.
Yep, and we thank New Life Community Church in Wellman for sponsoring our program where Aaron is the pastor. All right, that'll do it for this week's edition of Real Talk on Steve Shetler Media.